should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark. I'm a if young girl only knew that you was trying to get in me, what would she do? I'm a if young girl only knew that you was dissing her to talk to me. She would probably leave you alone. She would probably cut you out and unplug her phone. I should be glad that you was gone. Then she wouldn't have to worry. I'm a shapeshifter at this masquerade, hiding my face at night, afraid for you to drown. I'm a shapeshifter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark. I'm a Apples masquerade, hiding both face and mind, afraid for you to drown. I'm a shapeshifter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark. I'm a shapeshifter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark. I'm a if young girl only knew that you was trying to get in me. What would she do? I'm a if young girl only knew that you was dissing her to talk to me. She would probably leave you alone. She would probably cut you out another road. I should be glad that you was gone. And she wouldn't have to worry. I'm a shapeshifter at this masquerade, hiding my face at night, afraid for you to drown. I'm a shapeshifter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark. I'm a I'm a shapeshifter at this masquerade, hiding both face and mind, afraid for you to drown. I'm a shapeshifter. What else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dark. I'm a
You was gone. Then she wouldn't have to worry. Ooh, say what? All right, I don't know what it is. What it is about Aaliyah. She give me in my feelings. She probably cuss you out in the play. Hey, what's good with y'all, man? Look, welcome. You are now tuned in to level 11. We at 11, right? Yeah, level 11 of the Peep Game Podcast. Where we are
God, is Glizzy in the house?
Peep Game Podcast, man, where we are under zero obligations to be anything resembling professional. I am your host, your semi-humble host. It depends on if I've been rapping that day. Dallas, man. Here with the homie Baron J67. And we in here with friends. We are amongst family. So y'all already know what it is, man.
Guys, first and foremost, I'm just so grateful you guys are here. It's wild that we got 11 episodes in. That's 11 weeks of y'all listening to us make noises and talk and have thoughts and likes and and yeah.
Man, look. So I want to open this up by saying thank you. We appreciate y'all. We say this every episode, but I don't think it needs to sink in. Because it dawned on me today in a weird way that people actually listen to us. Like, people actually pull up. And if people don't watch live, they see this later on at some point. And that's weird. Like, we must be semi-entertaining. We must be doing something right. And I appreciate y'all at least helping me keep up the delusion that I'm doing something responsible with my life. So, yeah, thank you. That being
Make me look cool for kids.
Make me look cool for the kids. Speaking of the kids, man, we had fun last night for the kids.
Bro, we raised over $300 just last night on stream. It was absolutely nuts. I gotta shout out everybody who was there. Mr. Doja for sure. Dallas man showed up, of course. Shout out to Shannon Baker. over at Twitch, and shout out to AFK Kitchen, Food Truck King.
Hey, my bad. Say his
Yeah,
name and he appeared. What's happening?
man, look, God, and just shout out to everybody who showed up. And Lexi Graves, much love. She's a developer, and she showed up, and like, bro, it was nuts. We really did. We hit over $300 last night raising money, and then that's not even counting the subs, which I got to take that sub money and crank it over into the fund.
Charity. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it was like $89 or something like that in subs just from last night. It was wild.
Yeah. So
wild.
y'all know, if you're not already informed, y'all be around us, so y'all know what's happening. We are raising money for children's hospitals right now. Our goal is $1,000, and we are actually rapidly approaching it. We under a week and have surpassed half. So I appreciate y'all for that, and everybody that was just sitting up here all night last night till like 5 a.m. just watching us roast. That's all we did. We just watched him play Death Stranding and roasted the shit out of everything we could think of. We talked about let me see. We talked about Abby and her Samus Aran shoulders, how she built like a base PS4.
Flames continue.
Man, say yeah, we went in, and so yeah, it's a good thing. That being said, first I'm gonna address something I see in the comment. We don't usually do this, but I'm gonna hit it.
Yeah, we gotta talk about it.
Glizzy guy's asking what y'all think about about Xbox Live losing their goddamn minds. Now I'm gonna tell you this: we don't talk news on Peep Game. That's not really our thing. We try to reach everything else. There's plenty of news podcasts, and we have at least 2 of them on this channel. So we try not to do that too much. But since this broke today, I'm gonna tell you this: they clearly trying to push people over the Game Pass.
Yeah,
clear the superior service.
If you have if you're a heavily Xbox gamer and you buy 2 to 3 games a year, brand new full price from Xbox, you might as well go ahead and take that money and roll it over into Game Pass. Now, I'm not a shill for them, not at all. I don't get paid by Microsoft in any way, shape, or form. It would be really nice if I did, but I don't. But I will tell you this: if you buy 3 non-sports titles a year, like if you just know you gonna buy 3 full price games from Xbox, or you might as well go ahead and just throw that same money onto Game Pass and get your money's worth. That's just my personal opinion. Game Pass Ultimate. I'm sorry. Game Pass Ultimate. Let me be very clear. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to just push everybody to Game Pass Ultimate. And anybody out, don't do yourself a favor. Do Game Pass Ultimate.
Now we're gonna go ahead and cut that short because, like I said, we don't talk news up in this mug, but it just happened and you asked, so we answered. That being said, as you can clearly see in the title, Kaiju Killas, we are getting pretty soon a trailer for Godzilla versus King Kong. This is something we've been on. Hey, this is the fight of the century. Fight of the decade, fight of the millennium. We've been waiting to see these two throw hands or little like lizard chops or whatever these are.
He said lizard chops.
Like, we've been waiting to see them throw them for a good while, especially in glorious 4K or wherever they showing this. Like we've been waiting to see this, and it just brought up the whole thing that we've been into this type of stuff our whole lives, most of us.
Yeah, and most people don't even realize it.
Yeah, like so I didn't think I was too well versed in the whole Godzilla mythos and all that goes along with it. And then we started having conversations about it, and we realized that we knew a little more than we thought, but also nothing at all. So we're gonna go to Gojipedia. Usually something has like its own wiki, like DragonBall.wiki.com, and Dragon Ball is a vast set of universes. But a cult classic like this, they have to actually split it up into 3 different things: the Japanese stuff, the American stuff. We're gonna pretend that this one right here don't exist, and just expanded universe, comics, video games, toys, which all of this stuff is obviously meant to sell. And I don't even know where to start, man. Where you want to start with Godzilla?
You know what? I know for me, my first real introduction to Godzilla to like actually care was the one that we don't want to discuss, that most people don't like.
Oh no.
The Matthew Broderick. That was my like first real like I'm paying attention. I was when did that one come out? I don't know off the top. Let me find it.
2000.
But
I'm
it
just
was
guessing because it
2000.
was
Oh yeah,
called Godzilla
because it
2000.
was Godzilla 2000.
Mm-hmm.
It was watching been like 98. I always knew, like, funny enough, my love for the Godzilla world and universe came more from music, from MF Doom,
Mm.
from yeah, like Monster Island, Czarface, like it's so crazy how the music is what really led me to my true love for Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
And just but then I always watch anime though. So let's start with we could start with this one, the one that nobody liked. And for obvious reason, looking at it now, this didn't age well. Godzilla looked like an oversized raptor.
Yeah.
Like
I'm gonna let you
he looked hungry.
I'm gonna let you introduce your whole I'm gonna let you talk about your whole introduction to
Okay.
Kaiju and to Godzilla and all of that. And once you're done, I'll talk about mine because mine kind of had very little to do with Godzilla.
Okay.
So we'll just go from there.
All right, so we'll run with this. So just the whole big destruction thing. And then do you guys remember Rampage?
Mm.
Rampage, now like for me, I never played Rampage in arcade. I always played the Nintendo 64 one. What was it, Rampage World Tour or something like that?
Something like
And
that.
running around with Lizzie, I forgot Ralph. Wow, I remember their names. Lizzie, Ralph, and
Pinky, Inky,
what was the
Blinky, and
other
Sue, and Clyde.
Clyde? I'm done. I'm done. Rampage monster, bro. No, not the Rampage movie. Oh god, I still haven't seen that. George, thank you. Chakalaka came through clutch. And George, bro, I absolutely loved the Nintendo 64 game. We used to leave the Xbox. We used to leave the Nintendo 64 on for days on end. We ran through the world so much. We ended up going to hell. We ended up going through space. And then remember all the little special levels. That game was fun as hell. And then you like what was the noise they'd make when they punched the building? Like,
Hey.
and then you would like remember, I think that was the first game I ever played that had team killing. Like what was not team killing?
Friendly fire.
Friendly
I
fire.
guess
That
technically
was
friendly
the
fire.
bro, that was the first game I remember having active friendly fire. And you and my cousin, he would be bullying me in game. Like, I'll never forget that. Like, bro, just stop. I'm just trying to play. Like, come on, man. Like, I remember that. He was a bully. He was terrible. But that game, so that was my big introduction into giant monsters, destroying the world, just going out and going stupid. Um, but there was actually there was a fighter. I remember a Godzilla fighter as well. But then take it further back, now that I think about it, Ultraman on Super Nintendo, Power Rangers. I'm trying to think, what did I watch? Oh, Gundam.
Oh, hold on, wait. Before we get that far,
Oh yeah.
before we go all the way over there, um, that was actually my introduction to anything involving kaiju.
Mm,
Power Rangers.
mm.
Okay, so there was two different things. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I don't actually see it in here, but the old people in here, I know for a fact. Like I know for a fact, at the very least, Mr. Doja knows what I'm talking about. But there used to be a Godzilla cartoon before the Godzilla 2000 cartoon, and I mean like this was back in the time of like the Centurions. Um, y'all, you youngers don't know nothing about that, but this is way back then. This is back in the time of the GI Joe and the what else did we watch? The Transformers and stuff like that, right? And there was actually
Ooh.
a show, and then it was like a little tiny Godzilla Junior type thing called Godzuki, and it had these little wings and it could fly around, but it couldn't ever spit fire. And like they had a thing that called Godzilla. It's always like the little buddies, the little friends that's like teenagers or kids or whatever. And then there's always like the one guardian dude, like the dude they used to chase around Johnny Quest. the dude that does all the fighting up until the fighting gets to be too much for him, and then yeah. Glizzy guy
Bro.
said when he got in here that this is going to be a spicy episode. I didn't realize it was because he was going to stir the pot the whole time. Power Rangers is an Ultraman ripoff. Let's not, for one, let's just not do that. let's not disrespect the sanctity of the Power Rangers like that. They paved the way. Or Super Sentai in general, not the Power Rangers exactly, but Super Sentai in general paved the way. Granted, Ultraman was here first, but that's not the point. 1978 show.
And Chakalaka is talking about how Pacific Rim was the first term he heard the word kaiju. That makes sense because that's not like unless you're watching old Godzilla movies or whatnot in
it's
Japanese,
a kaiju
like
mainstream.
But to actually hear the word, like
for us, that's what the genre
was. It God Eater? Was it God Eater?
Ooh, was it?
That I first heard. Let me think. Okay, before I continue, I gotta talk about how great Rampage World Tour was to a point where I almost want to play it. There was 129 worlds or place maps in this Nintendo 64 game. 90 small cities and big cities, and then there were 44. You got to go to hell and space. You got to go over Eastern Europe, North America, the North Sea, Germany, Spain, France, freaking Africa, Nepal. Like you was just fucking shit up across the world. And I just wow, sorry, fam.
Peep game.
Oh yeah, Peep. Hey, damn, I cuss a lot. I really said fucking shit up across the world. I had two major ones within letters of each other. All over the world.
Fancy cars. Women and caviar. Hey, so my introduction to this whole shit was this Murasoka right here. This man right here was my introduction to to giant ass whoopings. This dude right here. Take that back. Take that back because it was Voltron before. It was Voltron before the Megazord, but we're gonna go for the Megazord because that's who I was like most into at the time. So, as you know, as you Voltron fans know, these big kaiju fighters are usually like 5 robots mixed in one. And Megazord was no exception. He was the Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Triceratops, Saber-tooth tiger, and Tyrannosaurus. I'm sorry, that was iconic. It's iconic. I just gotta take a second.
It really
look at that. Look,
what? How do you? Yeah, Megazords. Go. Animations were always on point, even though like you got to think about how old this was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, think about like they had miniatures out here and really shot them and made them look like something. Like it was so bad that we talking about Ultraman. That's not the first time I saw a person turn giant and beat up a monster, or beat up a robot for that matter. This was the first time I saw a person turn giant and whoop some ass. Y'all can't act like y'all don't remember the Green Ranger going in. He didn't just hop in the Zord and beat y'all ass up out the Zord. He hopped up on the Zord. Nah, he grew to throw hands with all 5 robots at the same damn time. At the same damn time? At the same damn time.
Okay, sidebar. Was this the first time we saw an example of a villain getting nerfed once they became a good guy?
Let me see, because
he didn't go giant anymore after this.
That's the last time he whooped ass on his own. Because
and then he all of a sudden needed to lean on the power of friendship.
Theoretically, after he joined the Power Rangers, he also had his own Zord, and he could turn giant. So the 3 of them could have jumped that one monster. If we want to be real, they could have stomped him before he grew. But let's just say you fight him the first time and he down, and then here comes Rita, make my monster grow, and then it grows. And y'all call that Megazord. Tommy can mask off and call the Dragon Zord. And then next thing you know, he could grow. And then all 3 of them can stomp the first motherfucker. Why was that not done?
Sidebar, Glizzy has brought up an amazing point. The Michael Bay, The Rock, movie. The movie The Rock was damn near perfect. That was a damn classic movie. But
The Alcatraz movie?
yeah, that was a damn good movie. Not better than Face Off, but it was a damn good movie. But we're not gonna do that.
It's gonna be hard to get better than Face Off.
Yeah, Face Off, man, that's my shit. He said, "I want to take his face," and they actually put that line in the movie, and it worked
because that's the time where you could be corny. That's why Power Rangers endures, because you can be as campy and as corny as you want it, but at the end of the day, it's still 5 giant robots coming together into one big giant robot, but still getting their ass whooped by one dude that grew and caught the green hands.
This dude really played his flute and said super. He didn't even take like a sensu bean or nothing. This fool literally got up and was like, "Let me go ahead and just show y'all what is up. That sword ain't shit. Hand strong."
Man, whole lot of choppers on your ass.
Bro, I need to see Mask Off or something like running while he just beating the shit out of.
I guarantee you it's out there. I guarantee somebody's showing it.
Because I'm gonna tell you that there's a video that's been going around for a while now, and they put 21 Savage over Tommy running up and beating up the Power Rangers, like when he jumped into their Zord and threw them all out.
Hey, I know
how you let somebody just open the back door? Like, why didn't you have a lock on it? Like, were you that secure in your like just that? Like, nah, nobody'll do it. Nobody can get up here.
Yeah, you can't jump this high. Unless Spider-Man trying to carjack us. I don't know. I got another one for you though. While we talking about Ultraman.
Johnny Sokko and his giant robot.
I got another one for you. I don't know if you've ever seen this show. I'm trying to see if we can find actual pictures of it, because I don't see pictures on its wiki. But there's another show that I used to watch along the Super Sentai lines. And technically they didn't grow giant, but they also did. Let me see if I can find it. I found the wiki, right? And it has 0 pictures. And now that I'm looking, it was a Ultraman series in the same way that they do Power Rangers, in the same way that Power Rangers is like a Japanese show where they took the footage and repurposed it for an American audience, and basically completely changed the show. It's that same thing. I don't want to say it's also a Saban show, and it's where they took Ultraman footage. But before I tell you the name of it, I want to see if I can find pictures that actually work. So just bear with me for a second. It's bothering me that they don't have pictures of this, because I watch this show religiously.
See, and folks, there's so many dope shows out there, man. I'm trying to think. Like, I know there's a crap ton of since we're talking about giants and robots, but these guys didn't really kill monsters. Oh, do you think God Eater could have dealt with having a few monsters in it? I mean, a few mechs, or it made it even cooler that it was just humans holding big ass weapons.
You know what would have been cool about it? If they did it, like if they mixed it. If they took the weapons and then it made like a mech armor, like the Red Ranger Battleizer type thing, where they weren't exactly giant, but they still was like mechish.
Ooh, like Metabots, like a Metabot type thing.
Yeah.
Metabots get sleeped on, but we ain't gonna go there.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different episode. I got something for that too. We'll talk about it.
But look, guys, real talk. It's more of a love story, but Darling in the Franxx, that did a really good job of showing robots. And it's funny because all the robots were like female design. Every character. Like, I just rewatched Darling in the Franxx. That's actually one of my all-time favorite anime out there. And Darling in the Franxx, which I highly recommend watching, it's got some heavy sexual overtones. It takes 2 pilots, and you need the pistol and the stymon, which if you took botany, you know what that means. Or pistol and the stamen.
I think it's hilarious that you use the word stymon with that pronunciation, but we'll go there later.
But Darling in the Franks, solid ass anime with some big ass monsters and some dope mech suits that transform and hit their full. I forgot what it was called, but the robots are actually called Franks, made by this old perverted man. Perversion in anime, man, I swear.
Okay, so I can't
Uh,
find everything I'm looking for, but I'm gonna do my best to explain to you what this was. So, if you ever heard of a show called Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, it was about
so
this group of kids, these high school kids, just like it always is. Um, and they had a band, and they would all go to I can't remember the main dude's name, but they would all go to his house, you know, to practice in the band at the end of at the end of the school day or whatever, right? And
mm.
they would fight computer viruses within his computer. So every time
Uh,
something showed up, they say some corny shit like "Let's samurais, guys!" Like it's morphin time, and then and then yeah, um, yeah. Oh, y'all guessed it, Superhuman Samurai. So yeah, they like go inside the computer, right? The thing is, the homies would have vehicles, right? And so there was like three different friends. One was like a super nerdy dude. One was like the bass player. That was like a jock type dude, and one was the girl. Cause you know, the girl doesn't have a personality; she's just a girl. Which every girl back then in every show was either um, main girl from Clueless or she was Hermione. So yeah, this chick was Hermione. All right, so
gosh,
um, everybody sort of had different vehicles. This one dude, the cool dude, had like a dragon type thing. Let me find it because I know I got it in here where you can see it. Blah 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 blah. Can't find it. Either way, um, but Servo though was the name of the character that the main character would transform into, and this Murasoka was bad. This dude was a fool. Like fuck Ultraman. This dude was cold.
oh damn, oh
Hey,
damn.
can you see this? Tell me that's not like. Tell me that don't
Hey,
whip
but
the
look
ass
at
of
the
every Power
dance,
Ranger,
though.
man.
Look at the dance, though. He said, "Come catch these hands."
That's man.
Hey,
Say
sir.
he was ready to drop the hands at all times. Like,
Hey,
hey, when I tell you Servo didn't play, say so. You know how these episodes they like formulaic, right? At the end of every episode, it ends the same way every time, right? And it was this nerd dude that hated everybody, and that's all he was. He was a professional hater. He just sit in his dark room all the time, like typing on his little keyboard, trying to send viruses to their computer all the time. And it was like there was a dude that stayed his ear with the haterade all the time. Like, yeah, there's not your friends. I'm not even your friend. I hate you. Shut up. Like, send him a virus. He would send a virus to the computer, and then this dope ass dude would whoop their ass, right? When that didn't work, one of the homies with the vehicles would come through, and they like combine and turn into some shit like this.
oh damn! I've never watched this show.
Hey, this was my childhood. Ooh, I think that's the dragon thing. Why is
Thunder
it?
God, Grid Man, bro.
Why is it only Pinterest has the good pictures?
Man, and you running high risk too.
Hey, this was his homie right here. Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
straight up,
bro, like, dude, I never watched. When
straight
did
up.
this run?
This was around Power Rangers era. Okay, so look, I'm gonna share my childhood with you right now. But look, around the time we was watching Power Rangers and we was really into all of that, right? Okay, so
Gotcha.
around the time that there was a lull where the Green Ranger thing had ran out, Tommy had lost his powers, and that was supposed to be the end of the time that they showed Tommy, right?
Got
He was
you.
that was supposed to be the end of his run. They were never gonna show him again. He was never going to turn good. All of that, right? Parents started writing the show like, "Hey, where's the Green Ranger? My kid keeps asking about the Green Ranger." Blah blah blah. So they brought him back. Eventually, they ran out of footage with the Green Ranger in it. So this is when they came up with the White Ranger thing. There was more footage out with the White Ranger. So there was a whole like pause in time during that time. And other shows would pop up. They would still show Power Rangers, but VR Troopers was one of those, which I'll share with y'all in a minute. Superhuman Samurai was one of those. And then they had a bunch of weird ones that just didn't catch. Like there was one called the Mystic Knights of Tirnanog. Don't ask. We'll get to that one day. Maybe I'll do a whole separate video on it. But yeah, that's when a whole bunch of random shows like this kicked up until we got the White Ranger.
Bro, and you know what? Can you explain to people, because I feel like everybody here doesn't know about the whole breakdown of Power Rangers in terms of us seeing the actors versus them using the actual combat.
Oh yeah. So okay, there's a genre basically of Japanese live action shows that's basically like what we would see as cartoons. Like what they do in anime, 9 times out of 10, there's actually a live action version of it. And probably was long before you ever seen an anime. So for instance, Kamen Rider or Kikaider. If you ever seen Android Kikaider at any point, which I should pull that up, there was a live action version of that before there was an anime. Same thing with Spider Man. The genre itself was called Super Sentai, and it was usually a hero, a villain. The villain was usually an alien from some random planet, sending monsters to Earth, and it had that formulaic villain of the week thing. And the team was usually like on some badass, like I'm just some gangster group over here, or I'm just some like SPD space police type thing before Americans did it, and they would have their show. Usually a little more mature than the American versions, but they would have their show. Eventually, Saban, a company that I know everybody is familiar with, went over to them, to a lot of those Super Sentai people, and were like, "Hey, we'll buy your show from you, or we'll buy your footage from you." They had some sort of deal where they could grab all that footage, and they ended up repurposing it to make different shows. And a lot of times there wouldn't be any continuity to it. There's a continuity in the Sentai versions, but the American versions would just be cut up pieces of every other show, whatever they could put together. Like if you remember in Power Rangers when they had the Alien Rangers, that was a complete different set of Power Rangers from a complete different show. They had nothing to do with with Mighty Morphin. You see them all cross over now, but I don't know if y'all remember Beetleborgs, right?
Yep.
You remember Big
What was
Bad
the what was the full
Beetleborgs.
name for? Yeah, there you go, Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Okay, so that's another one of those shows. Now Big Bad Beetleborgs, the American version was these three kids, but the kids version, the Beetleborgs were bad guys. I mean, not the
See, I
kids
didn't know
version, the
that.
Japanese version. The Beetleborgs are bad guys. So if you remember, the first Forever Red, when all the Red Rangers came together, if you look at all the villains that they were fighting, a couple of those are Beetleborgs.
Oh, because Beetleborgs had their own show, and they were bad guys in that world, in the real world. See, folks, this is a lot of this was news to me because I wasn't old enough to care about the production of and the like actuals of what was happening in this universe, but I always watched it and always enjoyed it. And to hear all of this now as an adult, because this is all new to me, it's mind-boggling to know that there was all of this going on behind the scenes, and it makes me question what's real and everything is cake.
And the cake is a lie, so everything's a lie.
Man.
So that being said, there was 3 typical average kids inside a haunted mansion. Okay, so there's different genres of Sentai, right? One of these genres is called Metal Heroes, and that's where Beetleborgs is actually a part of that. Hopefully they have pictures of the actual Beetleborgs. So the Fox Kids version was this. I don't know how much of that you can actually see.
I know. Beetleborgs. I actually had some Beetleborg figures. I ain't even gonna lie.
And this
Beetleborg figures.
This is from like the last. I think they had 2 seasons. There was one where it was the 3 of them, Drew, Joe, and Roland. Don't ask me how I remember all of this. Like my childhood just snaps back to me sometimes. All the memories that weren't repressed just come from rushing. All right, so but this little bastard right here, that's Josh. He came in way later as the White Blaster Beetleborg when they needed an extra. Like there's always the Sixth Ranger. They tried that same thing and all the rest of the shows, the Sixth Ranger thing. So. Dang, you can't even really see him. Let's keep going until we find some good pictures.
Right?
Eventually, we came up on VR Troopers. Fun fact, that wasn't one of them, but fun fact about VR Troopers, Tommy was
This conversation has exceeded my level of nerdiness. Yeah, that's why for me, I'm super once again, I did not know any of this. I just know I watched it and I was like, oh, this is dope. So to know that there's this much background into it, it makes it more special. Because I'm gonna shut up. Keep going. School us, old master teacher.
So the OG of every Power Rangers, like every Power Ranger fan, like the coldest, most gangster person in that whole shit is always Tommy, right? That's who we look
True.
at as the G. So originally, if you remember the show VR Troopers, or if you had heard of the show VR Troopers, which a lot of those designs that you see, that's pretty close to them. This is Beetleborg shit, but you get what I'm saying.
Got you.
Tommy was originally supposed to be the leader of that group in that show. They ended up switching him with the person that ended up being the leader in VR Troopers like last moment, just because they needed him somewhere. And it just stuck, and Tommy clicked, and the kids liked it so much, the audience liked it so much that they didn't have a choice but to keep him. The parents would actually like be up in arms, like, where's this Green Ranger dude? So that forced them to kind of pivot on these shows, and it made Power Rangers. It was already the most popular show like on TV at the time, but that made them keep Power Rangers because they only had so much footage, so they were only going to do it for so long. So this guy from this show could have been Tommy. It wasn't him exactly as a blue dude, but you get what I'm saying.
Look, we were saved.
Also, I just nerded out all night.
No, wild out, man. No, wild. Oh, bro, not the Honda.
Oh yeah, they did. They sure did. Okay, so fun fact. And I'll stop right here and let you do your thing. But this whole Super Sentai thing we talking about and giant mechs and all of that good stuff, you'll never guess what else was a part of this whole thing. I'm about to show you, but I'm just gonna give you a guess what random property ended up turning into a Sentai series.
Not Honda?
Long story short, so I don't go through the whole thing. Spider-Man. It was called Spider-Man, of course, because it's Japanese. And Spider-Man was one of these. He had a flying car. He had a giant robot. He was given his spider powers by some alien that fell to Earth. Yeah, Spider-Man was one of these. Giant robot and all.
Like the licensed Spider-Man.
Marvel's Spider-Man.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a whole show. It was a whole thing. Like I said, there was an alien that gave him his powers. Crash landed on Earth. Yeah.
See,
his eyes were skinnier, of course.
Oh my God, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So now my first question that I really want to ask is, why do you know all this? And then you ain't got to answer, but wow, he even had the Let's Go Morpher too. All right,
I'm just mad they made his eyes big.
I can't stand this dude, bro. Y'all, I'm done. This
Hey, that's Tobey Maguire in that suit.
Bro. And I bet you there's a scene where he's trying to stop a train. He's the whole stretched holding bridges together. That is some of the most symbolic Spider-Man thing ever. The holding of two worlds, the being the bridge between everything, and then even him and Civil War being the bridge between the mask and the maskless. Like that's always just the iconic Spider-Man, that bridge. Spider-Man struggled way more than he should. He should at least have a tip jar out there throughout New York.
22-year-old motocross racer named Takuya Yamashiro. That's who Spider-Man was in this thing. He has the ability to perceive threats from the Iron Cross army with his spider senses. He fights the Iron Cross army in order to avenge his father's death. To conceal his superhero identity, he acts as a weakling in front of other, all the same stuff you think. Only
yeah. Oh, it's Spider-Man, like 100%. It's Spider-Man.
It's like Spider-Man and Power Rangers had a baby. Giant robot,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I can't. Spider-Man. I can't with this dude. Oh, and Glizzy said if Power Rangers came out in 93, I wonder if they took the idea of the Green Ranger from Reptile and Mortal Kombat, which came out in 92. I would say no.
Yeah, because the Green
Because
Ranger
you got to
existed
remember
already.
Saban already. Yeah, that's why we even went down this rabbit hole, because I wanted Dallas to explain to a lot of people, because I didn't know this, is that Power Rangers, all the combat for the old school Power Rangers existed well before it was actually given to us in the US. Saban had been trying to pitch, and that's actually a dope story you guys should look into yourselves, about the whole story of Saban. What is his name? Not Nick Saban. I forgot his name.
Haim Saban.
Yeah, Saban. Yeah, he had been pitching for years. I want to say it was like a crazy number, like 9 years, trying to get that whole giant robotic show over, that style of TV over to the US, and nobody believed it would make money. Like, they thought it would not be profitable. Hand to God, like, it took years for him. See, I know that part of it, but I didn't know, and that was, of course, when I became an adult, I found out about that. They were telling that story as a way to just a thing in Japan. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
It was a
it's
better thing.
always existed.
Truth be told,
and then
the Japanese
it's
versions
gritty.
of it.
It's gritty, and they're adults. Like, the one thing I loved about our Power Rangers, and I wish they would dive heavier into it, if they went the route of like Animorphs. Like, I don't know, I didn't read all the Animorphs books, but I know a little bit about the lore and how deep and heavy and violent and shit that was. Like, it was violent as hell. And I feel like that short Power Rangers film that came out was perfect. That was perfection. That showed more of what the real universe for the Power Rangers were. Like, these dudes had PTSD. They, like, if you guys haven't watched the short film, please go watch that short film.
Yeah. It probably says bootleg Power Rangers.
Yeah,
it probably says that exactly in all caps.
Yeah, they probably tried to get it removed. It has the guy who plays who's the voice for Sleeping Dogs. He's one of the main villains in the short film.
Hey, you want to
yeah,
Power Rangers fun fact? Y'all remember the original 5 Rangers, right? If you notice, the Pink Ranger has a skirt, but the Yellow Ranger don't. That's because the original Yellow Ranger in Japan was a dude and not a girl.
Because the colors mean different. That's wild.
Yeah.
Because colors don't carry the same meaning everywhere. Just like some cultures, green is spicy when red, and then for some people, red is spicy. Like, it all depends on where you're at. Ninja Turtles apparently has a deep history, just like the Power Rangers. See, I didn't know that.
Let me tell you how Japanese. Ninja Turtles was originally written as a Daredevil parody. Like, it was,
that makes sense.
It was legit supposed to be a parody. That's why the bad guys are called the Foot instead of the Hand.
The Hand, yeah.
Like, it's legit supposed to be a parody. That was supposed to be like, that's why the way they got their powers was legit the same way Matt Murdock got his powers. Some green
the ooze like, hitting in his face. Oh shit.
Yeah, it was meant to be a parody. It was darker. It was dark and gritty back then. If you notice, we didn't think of it like this, but like the 90s Ninja Turtles movies that we love, the Go Ninja Go stuff, that was dark and gritty. It just didn't register to us.
It was.
Go back and watch those. Go back and watch the trailer for it. Like,
Patience
Shredder literally got crushed.
Never pay full price for a late pizza.
Hey, you know how Japanese this Spider-Man is? I'll tell you how Japanese this Spider-Man is. He got a whole extra set of powers. Like, hey,
he's got a super mode.
So strength, speed, healing factor, right? Decreased aging, wall crawling, superhuman hearing. Spider-Man didn't have that. Smelling, night vision, X-ray vision. he was Spider Superman. Like,
Spider-Man.
He can communicate with spiders. Why didn't Spider-Man have that power?
you would think, could you imagine how much easier his life would be if he could send in spiders to go lurk out an area? He wouldn't even need to build all that tech.
So Ant-Man can talk to ants, but Spider-Man can't.
I actually, this is a problem because now I want a primal Spider-Man. I don't want tech heavy Spider-Man.
Man,
Now that this is bothering me.
yeah.
I need to see primal Spider-Man. I need to see gritty, like Madam Web blessed Spider-Man, and all he do is like communicate with spiders. He ain't building tech. He's like all rough. Can King
Man.
Shark talk to sharks? King Shark is the shark. He don't need to talk to him. They like, hey, that's funny though.
Can King Shark talk to sharks though? I don't think sharks really do much talking.
Yeah, it ain't. It's all action. Ain't no
like, hold our choppers on your ass. I don't think they. I think they just running phase all night in the water, just like
man. Speaking of, and this fits because this fits under Kaijus. Back when Kaijus were absolutely guaranteed real, they found out. I don't ask me how, but science said it. That the megalodon newborns, they are hatchlings or whatever they're called. They were cannibals, and they would legit like eat each other. Like that whole story of eating your twin. That's what they would do in order to be strong.
Of course. I'm not.
How do I? Ooh, that's a good question. Speaking of King Shark, how do y'all feel about the new Rocksteady Suicide Squad game? I'm excited to see it. Rocksteady has yet to really do completely bad. Their games are enjoyable, playable, functioning, and entertaining, and they do a good job with the Batman universe or with the DC universe. So I'm ready for it.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but
yeah,
more optimistic than cautious for a couple reasons. A, like you just said, Rocksteady. But if you had just presented Suicide Squad to me as a game, just the trailer, I'd have been like, I'll probably try it once and move the fuck on. But the fact that it came out literally the same time as the Arkham Knight information, and it's basically supposed to be the same type of game, the mix between the fact that it's Rocksteady, and just the fact that even though Gotham Knights is not technically canon for the Arkham games, for whatever reason, Suicide Squad is.
Yes,
is literally canon for it, like within the Arkham universe. So I'm curious to see what happens. So that's where I'm at with it,
Mr. J. But like real talk, I want to see missions. Like I love that they put that whole thing in place about Deadshot. Was it Deadshot who shot Superman?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the opening marketing for that game. Like I personally thought that was dope. Like hardcore referencing the comics. That was always something that bothered me about video games, and they usually do a pretty good job in video games, but more or less TV and movies. Like you have reference points. Why not take? We borrow so much from Japan and steal a lot from Japan. So why not take the whole idea of let's just take the manga and make it a anime?
Mm-hmm.
Like we ain't even gotta literally episode, chapter for episode, chapter to episode, chapter to episode.
This should be Suicide Squad Brotherhood.
Yeah, it really should. And you know what I'm hoping it is, and I hope that they lean heavy into. I think what's gonna make that game last longer than a few months is if they make it like the reverse version of like some type of mix of Grand Theft Auto Online and what's the game that's out now? Marvel Avengers. Like it needs to be a mix of that. It needs to be where there's RPG elements, there's drop in and out gameplay, and it's got to have big giant boss battles, trying to keep it in line with talking about giant kaijus and whatnot. I feel like you need that.
I feel like Gotham Knights is pioneering it.
Yes.
I yes. Hope, it turns out the way that we all hope it'll turn out, but it feels like a different type of multiplayer. Open world, drop in, drop out is all I needed to hear from them to be down.
That is enough for me. Like 100%. Especially because now we got level 1 gaming. We're gonna be doing game nights. We're gonna be having more interaction with the team. And that's sad. Glizzy brought up I don't want no service for Suicide Squad. It will die. It will be
no.
dead on delivery.
If you make me pay for
It'll
a
be dead
subscription,
on.
I won't play.
Oh no! I'm gonna tell you this. If they could somehow add battle passes to single player games, you're gonna see all of that type of stuff there. It's gonna be there. This is gonna be a big market. You're gonna see it, but at the same time, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If they want this game to last, unless they want it to be a one-off shoot, if you want it to be the Arkham experience where you just bouncing around character to character, and you just going through their stories and you going through the world, that's fine too. Like, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie, because we enjoyed the Arkham series, and that wasn't online, that wasn't multiplayer, that wasn't like, we enjoyed it, and we still talk about those games. So yes, they can mirror that, but I highly doubt they will. And the test factor for this and why we haven't seen gameplay is because Dallas brought up a good ass point. They are waiting for Gotham Knights to be the test run for the future of these games. Like, if Gotham Knight flops, they're going to change the structure of what originally Suicide Squad was going to be. I believe that.
Gotham Knights is one of two things is going to happen as far as how it's seen in gaming history. For this particular type of multiplayer, it's either going to be the guinea pig or the pioneer.
Yep.
Straight up. It's either going to do well and everybody's going to want to be like them when they grow up, or it'll flop and everybody roast the shit out of them.
Yep. Oh, Spider-Man seems to be doing fine, which is very true. Spider-Man's doing great, and it does not need to. They don't need to ever. But remember when they did
multiplayer.
But remember when they did the Spider-Verse? What was that game called again? Was it Spider-Verse? Where you got to play as all the different Spider-Man. Like, you played a Spider Noir.
This was a game?
You got to play. Yeah, you don't remember? You got to play as Infinite Spider-Man.
Shattered Memories. No, I'm thinking Silent Hill. Shattered Dimensions.
There you go, Shattered Dimensions. So they had a similar system in place, and each Spider-Man moved and functioned and felt different. Like, that was a truly, they could have taken that experience and turned it into multiplayer. Do we want them to? No. Believe me, guys, I am not for games as a service. Don't get me like misunderstood. Like, I do not. There's very few games that do it successfully, and that's why they're still around. That's why you still see people playing WoW. That's why you still see people playing Final Fantasy 14. That's why you still see people playing Destiny. Like,
I don't hate service-based games. I just think they need to be
they're not scummy.
Mindful of how they monetize. Exactly. You just can't be scummy.
Yeah, don't be scummy. Like, just don't be scummy, and it'll be fine. Do not offer a way to pay to win. Do your best to be cosmetic, and back to these damn kaiju. So, big ass monsters.
How about,
I gotta ask the question, guys. Mm-hmm. Who do you honestly think is gonna win between Godzilla and King Kong? Because let me tell you, my answer is based on a few different things. I think this is going to be directly after the movie. So we're going to see a weakened Godzilla because he was overpowered. He got supercharged. And like we all know, when you overclock anything, it wears it out. So I got a funny feeling Godzilla's going to be handicapped. And but I ultimately believe the humans are going to be the biggest problem in this.
Oh, you mean real life?
Well, if you guys caught the teaser, I don't know if it's spoiler and it's a teaser. The teaser's been running all over social media. King Kong is in chains, which that's got some racial things behind. I ain't going that far. Yeah, monkey.
What if
chains.
He break the muzzle Kratos the shit out of Godzilla?
This this is what I'm saying. I got a funny feeling. What I ultimately think is going to happen, and I want you guys to all remember this so I can ruin it for you. I believe that Godzilla and King Kong are going to be beating the shit out of each other, and then all of a sudden a third entity is going to come into the picture, and whether it's humanity or whether it's like some wild general with nukes in arms, or another monster, or they're gonna introduce Mecha Godzilla.
It's gonna be a human inside.
Yep, I'm telling you, and they're gonna have to team up to destroy him. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna get a team up situation. I highly doubt.
That makes the most sense. What you're saying makes the most sense.
Yeah, and this is all based on just how movie plots usually work, and this is why I love when movies surprise me, because you read enough books, you read enough stories, you listen to enough stories, you watch enough movies, plots, and then if you realize that plots all go back, plots always lead the same way. They go all the way back to like past Greeks. Like all the stories at their core are kind of the same. They always tell the same stories over and over. And it's not a bad thing. That's why. But when movies surprise me, I love them to death. I'm trying to think. What was the last damn movie that had me just like jaw dropped? Fuck. It's gonna take a while. I know for sure that the ending of Infinity War that messed with me. Mm-hmm. And it was only because of how they just instant it was. That was wild. I remember everybody walking out the theater absolutely quiet. That was a pretty nutty moment. But Godzilla was epic as hell. That remake, man, that was nasty. And it bothers me they didn't dive a little deeper into that whole fact that there's a whole human race that was living at the center of the earth, praising Godzilla. Like they really just brushed over that. Temples, and they was living and carving stones and megalithic structures just at the center of the earth. No big deal, guys.
Mm-hmm. Like it's not just let's just go ahead at any given point, and
screw.
So,
yes, that was terrible, and that's why it was dope for the moment. And I wish they would have. Yes, I agree, Glizzy. That moment really threw me off. We knew it was coming. There's too much money behind a lot of these properties.
I mean, you know what? Okay, so
and then
I think while I understand your perspective on it because it was two separate movies, I don't think that was the case. You can only retcon from story to story. It was two movies, but it was only split up because it was one long ass story. Just like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. It was only one book. It's only one movie, but it's Part 1, Part 2 of the same story.
Sure.
So they didn't really retcon anything. That was just the climax of the story.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. It I wonder how it felt to watch all that as somebody who did not know any of the lore. Like somebody who the only thing you know about these characters is what you see in the MCU.
And it was probably a wild ride.
Like, yeah, it probably was something real crazy. I feel like those were the people who were hurt more. Like those who didn't know that literally all these people are coming back. Now with what giant Marvel character do you think we're gonna see next? Because Fortnite had Galactus. We had, you had Galactus with the Silver Surfer.
You can't get too much bigger than Galactus if we talk about really Marvel threads. Like it has to be a Celestial. That's the furthest you can go with.
Giants. You're right. Ooh, those Celestials, bro. You know how dope that shit would be. And speaking of Celestials, that kind of ties into the other kaiju that I would actually want to see like an anime behind. Could you imagine like the like the Eternals from like Cthulhu and Lovecraft getting like an anime and having like, bro, that would be dope. Like, I don't know how could you imagine some Lovecraftian Gundam anime where they're fighting back the dark eternal Celestials? I forgot what the proper term for all the like creatures from Cthulhu and
Elder
Shaggoth and all them.
gods or
Elder God. Yeah, the Eldritch monsters and shit. Like that would be dope.
let me go ahead
That
and
would
put
actually
that
be,
there since that's what we on. There you go.
bro. You know
Imagine
how
that.
sick that would be. Let me. Oh yeah, bro. I would love to see it. It would have to be an anime version. I couldn't imagine anybody else doing a really good job with it.
But because I want to go out of my way to middle finger love, like put a middle finger up to Lovecraft every chance I get.
Yeah, fuck that dude.
This the one we're going for. There we go.
Yeah, the Call of Cthulhu.
There we go. That's better.
Isn't that just Quake 1? Yeah. The underwater race known as the Deep Ones.
Okay, so you know what?
Bro,
I want you to mention everything you want to mention about Cthulhu because I don't know all that much about him. And other than like the style, like Lovecraft, I don't know much about Lovecraft other than the style, right? I know things about Cthulhu and I know things about other gods and settings in the mythos. I'm familiar with the aesthetic and I'm familiar with the man, but not too much with particular stories, right?
Okay, so it's honestly basic. It's basically like cosmic level, cosmic and space level monsters, and aliens. That's really what it is. That time frame, 20th century, like the early 1900s, like that's what it was. Space entities, giant beings, old ones, shit that's been around since before shit existed, and yep, should a nigga rat. Yep.
Man, I was just talking about that before we started the
We
show.
were just we just talked about that. He just had to throw the N-word in as much as he could.
He had to.
But like real talk, it was just Cthulhu. What was he? The manifestation of like evil incarnate, like, and just it. I just know that shit would make a dope ass anime. Man,
you know what's sad? That the scale, like size wise, the scale of the Transformers made them just too small to actually fit this episode. We gotta find something for them one day. But yeah, it made them just too small to fit.
Yeah, you're right. Damn. We didn't even we sure didn't even get to the mobile suits.
Oh no, I'm looking at them right now. Because my next question when you were done, speaking of giant mechs, since we putting kaiju and mechs together, what's your favorite Gundam?
I'm gonna go cheesy and go Gundam Wings Zero, the Endless Waltz, the winged god himself, and then next to him, no, I'm lying. That's too easy of a pick. Heavy Arm Troa, Heavy Arm, the Heavy Arm Gundam.
Actually, let me look.
No, that was my favorite Gundam. Was Heavy Arm. That dude, them dudes
named Troy Barton.
Yeah, Troy Barton. That was my favorite Gundam. Heavy Arm. It was the truth. That big ass sniper rifle launcher cannon. And then they even added to the lore about how one arm was harder to swing in the anime, or at least I remember that. He said Ali Baba.
I found out about Gundam Wing oddly enough from the manga. I just happened to stumble upon like the first issue of Gundam Wing, and then
See the life he lived.
Just I happened to stumble on it, and then the next time I came across it was when Endless Waltz actually showed on Toonami.
Bro, like the Sandrock customs, dude. Okay, guys. I actually have built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I built like 9 or 10 Gundams. I might maybe 11, and then I got a couple more locked up. And damn it, I just remembered. So, random fact, I have a box because I was ordering too many Gundams and like it was ridiculous and I was building them all the time. Funny enough, this was the first time I found out that I could sit and do something patiently. Like I never really was into puzzles or anything like that. And this was the first time I ever like sat down and just finished something to completion. That was me putting it together. And once I did it one time and would jam music and just sit there and do that, I got hooked on it. So I just started buying them. And to the point we started like traveling out to LA and going to not Frankensons. There's like different Gundam shops that are just Gundam shops, just wall to wall Gundams, different grades. Always did the what was it, the high grade, not the high grade, the MGs, the mid grades, or was it the HGs? It was like the 132nd models. Like it's always the mid tier, not the giant metallic ones. And I absolutely love them, but I have a box that I got from Amazon, and I told myself the moment I forget what's in there, I'm gonna open it and then I'll do an unboxing. But every time I start thinking about the box, that's what she said, or he said. Whenever I think about the box, I remember what's in there. So yeah, but yeah, bro, I'm telling you, Heavy Arms,
Hey.
that was my dude.
Hey, look.
It's like Armored Core meets Monster Hunter. Are you
Oh,
serious?
you talking about Lost Planet? Yeah, Lost Planet.
I've never played it.
I played the first one briefly. It seemed dope. Like I messed with it.
Really? As soon as he said Monster Hunter and Armored Core, bro, do y'all remember? Hey, Faye, what up?
Hey,
do
what's
y'all
good?
remember? Do y'all remember the VR? Not the VR, the arcade game where you would run as a mech. I know we talked about it a little bit the last podcast, if I'm not mistaken. That man,
Look at Heavy Arms though. Like this
sick.
is why I can understand why this is your favorite Gundam. I'm sorry, but like this,
Yeah,
I get it. This is why it's called Heavy Arms.
Look, bro, he was that dude. Heavy Arms was that dude. And then I remember the big fight between him and Hito. That was sick. Remember when they would like try to kill themselves and they would like stand on the edge of their Gundam, like it would open up, the chest would open, and they would like be standing there, and they would always like do a suicide, like try to do a suicide thing.
Just stand. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Like I don't know why they thought that was Power. Oh, that's dope. Why they thought that was Power Rangers and they could just jump down. Like
yeah.
I'd have a hard time jumping off the roof of my house, and you guys are jumping off giant, stories tall robots. Here's my favorite.
Okay,
Gundam.
sidebar. Ooh.
I just wanted to make sure I mentioned this at some point. This is Shining Gundam from Mobile Fighter G Gundam. And it's my favorite. It's my favorite Gundam series, and it's my favorite actual Gundam for two reasons. The series itself is so much different from every other Gundam series. Every other one, like they all political to an extent, but this is the least political of all of them, though. And it's really just, there's a Gundam for each major country, and there's a tournament every few years.
Will do.
Whichever one of those Gundams at the end, whichever one of those Gundams win that tournament, that get to actually be, that country gets to be like in charge for that little while. I'm grossly oversimplifying it, but now the actual Shining Gundam is my favorite for the reason that it's different in the grand scheme of all the Gundams. Domon Kashu, the pilot of it, he just wants to mind his own business, but they won't let him mind his own business. He one of them dudes where he trains in martial arts, like his master teaches him how to break people down. And he just want to mind his business, but it just so happens that the big bad of the series, the Dark Gundam, is being piloted by his brother. And so he got to do his thing. Now, this, if y'all ever heard me say something like this, hand of mine glows with an awesome power, it comes from this. If you never seen it.
So is this basically Mech Suit Speed Racer?
Kinda. Not exactly, but close.
Okay.
Because he's not the one with the most special Gundam. It might be cold in comparison to all the other normal Gundams. Because it's really just normal until he decides to use this last attack, the Shining Gundam, right? I mean, a Shining Finger, which it makes his finger like basically a lightsaber, and it can melt through anything it touch, right?
Bro,
Um,
look, my daughter. Look, this is what
a
happens when
little
you have kids,
SD.
guys. So this is like just the little pocket ones that I would build and grab, but then my kids like knocked. I don't know where the rest of it's at, but yeah, kids are fun.
Especially when they
Bro, I
mess up your
really
stuff.
you know what mobile suits I like, and that was another thing too. It took me a while to understand that there's only a few Gundams, but there's a bunch of mobile suits. Um, and like I like the green soldier units, the round helmet ones. I call them the Juggernauts.
Mm.
Those were always sick to me. Like, bro, man, I'm gonna get back into it. Would you?
So
Hey, sidebar. I mean, just to fully nerd out here, I gotta, well, just check the temperature on it. Kind of don't care what you guys say, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Would y'all actually watch like someone build Gundams, like listening to music and stuff like that? Because I'm actually thinking about doing that.
yeah,
I'm probably gonna do it anyway, but I just
especially
want to
your
kind of get
streams,
a
the
temperature.
conversation be good.
Yeah, we'll get a temperature check. But keep going. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, bro.
Oh, I was talking about just the differences and why I like it and why it's so different. Another one of the major differences in G Gundam versus they do the whole colonies and in the Earth. So the colonies are all the different countries. So there's Neo America, Neo Japan, Neo, and every one of them is stereotypically that country. So like for example, the Chinese Gundam, Neo China's Gundam, is the Dragon Gundam, and
Mm.
so that's enough said. Or like Neo America, their Gundam, I forget what it's called, but it's got these shoulder pads that pop off, and he uses them as boxing gloves. Um,
Hey.
yeah, and so Neo Japan seemed to be like the most plain one, but it's also like it's where, if you ask me, where Pacific Rim got its inside. Like, look at this picture right here, right? He using like his signature attack, Shining Finger. There's no cockpit
Mm.
inside of this. There's just cockpit. He's actually standing on the inside, and the Gundam is mimicking his movement, and that's why he's so good at piloting it, because he's so good at fighting, and the Gundam mimics his movement. So it's not about like being a good
I'm gonna have
mech
to go and
pilot.
watch this one.
Like so the winning or losing has nothing to do with being a good mech pilot. It has everything to do with being a good fighter. So if you like shonen fighting tournament arc ass anime, this is the Gundam series for you.
See, that's what I didn't even know about this one.
Oh yeah.
There's so many, like they're redoing the story of is it Char? Yeah, shoulders. Of the
Abby
what was his
shoulders.
damn name? Yeah, what was his damn name? The dude who wears the silver helmet. Is
Um
it Silver or something?
I'll know it
Char.
when I see him.
Yeah, the main antagonist for
Gundam
I
Wing.
think it was for mobile. Yeah, from Gun. Yeah,
Let's
him.
find
They're
out.
actually doing like a up and coming. Like they're doing a show about his life and how he became who he is. Let me see. The Oz. Not Hito, White Fang.
Zex.
Yeah,
Zex
Char.
was his
There you
name.
go. That's his name.
You talking about this dude?
I believe it was Char, and I think he's a mirror of Char. Yeah, he's supposed to be like one of those Char clones, like somebody who's like him.
Let me see. Gundam pilots, Gundam sports,
I think it was from the original Gundam, but
mm.
the Juggernaut, bro. I'm telling you, those little round green ones, them is the truth. Are the little tank ones, bro? My homeboy was so into it. He would, and he was also into photography. He would actually like do scenarios. Like he would take like shoe boxes, and he would go get sand and like glue sand down and glue
Ah,
grass, and he would do like battle damage. He would take like a high Charles. I don't need no help. I'm the Juggernaut. Yeah, Char. There you go. That dude. Um,
Oh, him
I
the
think
juggernaut, bitch. Like,
he's like, I don't need Exhibit to pimp my ride. He's oh, that shark. This is for Samuel L. Jackson.
yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Oh my God! Oh, we falling from God's grace. But no, he would take like wire and whatnot and heat it up and burn the like battle damage into the different Gundams and everything, bro. He would do whole different scenes. There's actually some dope pictures out there of like basically people doing what is it called, stop motion movies and whatnot
Fire.
for Gundams. Super freaking sick, bro.
Man,
Damn.
look.
Zone of Enders. Ooh.
Zone of the Enders? Oh, I forgot about that. Say, look. Y'all sleep on Kojima.
So many.
Y'all sleep on Kojima.
Remember, didn't they add that game as an extra to something else?
Yeah, they had they had
was a
Metal Gear
double
Solid 2 as a the demo was in Zone of the Enders. Like you had to buy Zone of the Enders to get the demo.
I remember that.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Damn, I forgot about that.
What was in there?
And I like that it was named after gods. So like all of the good suits, like the good mechs were named after gods. So there was like Jehudi, Anubis, shit like that.
There's we could literally go for days, bro.
But look, y'all, man, look. It's almost been an hour and a half.
Oh damn.
And I love y'all, but I want to stream at some point.
That point.
Because I've been neglecting my duties. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know what I'm gonna play, but I gotta play something because I keep saying I'm going to and not doing it. So, as you guys know, there's a couple different things that we like to do to add a little, a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Value. Yes, that value to the community.
Life.
Value. So one of those things is to put you on to creators that we think are dope, tell you what they're doing and where you can find them, and why you'll even want to follow them. And oddly enough, it surprises me that we haven't done this one yet. Of all the people that we talk about and all the people that we show support for, I think it's really, really important to actually show support for the ones that support you, especially if they dope. So without further ado, I present to you. You better know him at some point because I guarantee he supported you in some way or another at some point. Hustle and Motivate. Our homie Hustle. Like, look, his streams are entertaining. Sometimes it's because he like trips over his own 2 feet. sometimes it's because like he's just actually just talking about something cool. Just you saying some stuff you want to hear about. Hustle is probably one of the most honorable people that I met in a long time. He just mean what he say what he mean. And that's something that you don't see a lot of out here. And he sticks to his guns. He stick by what he's talking about. And he don't like to open his mouth about nothing unless he know what he's talking about. The Einstein himself, man. And if he likes something, he gonna wear it on his sleeve. You know how we are. Like we hood, but we nerd. Looks can be deceiving. And one thing that I look for in this community is hood nerds, man. Like hood nerd niggas. Like it's us. We here. So I like to see myself out here, and that's what I feel like I see in Hustle. So I'm gonna pop open the link tree. That didn't sound like I thought it was gonna sound when I said it. And it's Hustle and Motivate on everything that I've seen so far. So Twitter, Hustle and Motivate, MOTIV, and then the number 8. Hustle and Motivate on Instagram, Hustle and Motivate on Twitter, Hustle and Motivate on Twitch, Hustle and Motivate on YouTube. Now, the 2 things I'm going to ask you to do, the 2 actual actionable things that I want you to do is go find him on Twitter and follow. My bad, 3. Go find him on Twitch and follow. Go find him on YouTube and subscribe. He actually been going in lately with his content too. He's always talking about something that means something. Actually, as a matter of fact,
I'm dropping his links. Don't even trip.
Oh, good. Appreciate you. Also, he got a group. He always around a good group of people. One thing I noticed, like we always say, Hustle got like shadow clones or something. Because for
Yeah,
whatever
he's
reason, this
everywhere.
man seemed to be at the same damn time. He seemed to be everywhere at the same damn time, showing support for people. And sometimes I notice like some people show more support to other people than people show to them, and that just can't be. We can't have that over here.
For real. Because
So
man, Hustle literally lives his name. And that's why we were really spotlighting him. He lives his name. He hustle and he motivates. Simple as that. Every syllable, like it just
he
it's
wear
so
his game and
dope,
shit on his sleeve too, and that's what you can't ask for more.
man. And anywhere I go and I see him there, it lets me know I'm in the right place. Like I know, even it's funny because there'll be times where I'll go into a random stream and Hustle will be there. And I'm like, well, damn. I immediately follow just because Hustle's there. Hustle ain't gonna waste his time nowhere on no crap. Like he is everywhere and he's always in the right spot. And that Hustle's that guy. He's cool. Good peoples.
You can't go wrong with any of his suggestions. If you following him on Twitter, he tweets links, YouTube links out all day. He retweets videos all day. He retweets tweets all day. Some of those are ours. Some of those are from people who you probably want to check out. Some of those are from people who you already check out, who you already mess with and support, and it just so happens he like the same shit you do. And
Yep.
that's been my experience with this man. So yeah, this week we definitely want to highlight Hustle and Motivate because he does just that. That being said, before we get out of here, there's another thing we like to do to add a little bit more value to the community. I teased it earlier. Pause. I I also, you know, just want to play y'all out on something. Every week it's another sample flip, and it's fitting that we got Hustle as the person that we showcased this week because this is one of his games. Einstein, like on Takamaki, from Persona 5, and it's a Persona 5 sample flip. So, homies, without further ado, we're gonna play y'all out on a Persona 5 sample. Hey, stay to the end. Like at least listen 3 minutes in, cause it goes in. It turns to a mashup. Just Anyway, anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Keep dreaming. Keep working towards those dreams and create something for yourself, man. Just create.
Man. Eat clean, drink water, grease your scalp. All right, y'all.
Ooh.
I post my skirt.